All right, check this out. Howdy and aloha, everybody. It's February 16th, 2025. Yes, who remembers this guy? This guy is such a piece of crap, and I don't see how in the hell anybody put him as a senator. It just fucking crazy. It's just crazy. West Virginia, I'm not sure if that was rigged or how the fuck that went down, but that was just ridiculous. That guy is not who you think he is. He's just a piece of shit. And from what I've heard, according to a person I used to work with here and they used to be married to, she used to say that she has, and others have heard him speak in private, and he doesn't have a Western accent. He doesn't have a Southern accent. He doesn't have the South Appalachian accent. He's just a show. He's just a show. And look at all these people he's poisoned. Isn't that crazy? And look, it's just disgusting that there are still people out there that that have forgotten who the hell these other people are, these people that were pushing this stuff. They needed to remember who these people are, because once all the information comes out, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. does what he's supposed to do and brings the information out, this guy should be listed as like crimes against humanity, just a complete criminal. And all of them for pushing this crap. Let me see. I think I got him here too. He does. Merrick. He's part of it. He's part of this genocidal bioweapon plant. It's the guy, and there's a few of them out there. There's a few of them out there. I'm gonna tell you now that a lot of you need to remember what happened in 2020, 2021, 2022, and who the players were. And the problem is a lot of you, because Trump came around to fix everything, and they brought Robert F. Kennedy Jr., they got just Tulsi Gabbard, they got Hegseth, they got Pam Bondi, they got Christy Noem, they got all these people that are going to help switch this around from the tyrannical authoritarianism that was happening in 2020, late 2020, and definitely in 2021, 22, 23, and 24. Your team out there, and I am talking about the Trump team. There are people in there that I believe are in there for just to get the accolades, just to get that support, just to get on that bandwagon. A lot of these people are riding the coattails of Donald Trump's movement of MAGA. And those people, I believe, will be weeded out. I believe they'll be weeded out really soon. It's only been 27 days, not even a month, and what Elon Musk has uncovered with Doge and what other senators and representatives in Congress are now starting to see and witness and dig in for themselves, finally, we're starting to see some serious criminal fraud, waste, just junk. But the worst part is the criminal fraud and the grifting, money laundering that's been happening for 4 years. And we all know that it's been happening for a long time. At least I do. If you paid attention to September 10th of 2001, a day before 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld came out and said, we can't find $2.3 trillion. And then sure enough, the next day, the places where you could find the money trail, especially the Pentagon, that wing, that specific area got hit. Isn't that a coincidence? There's so many things that have happened since then, but ever since then, the military budget has gone up to about $820 billion a year. $820 billion. And you're going to realize that a lot of that money goes to these contractors. It goes to Boeing. It goes to Lockheed Martin. It used to go to McDonnell Douglas, but they got bought out by, I think, Lockheed Martin. And Grumman and Enron and all these other big, gigantic military industrial complex castles in the sky stacked with bazillions of dollars. I'm going to hope that Elon Musk will dig into that. Because if you're digging into Ukraine, you also need to dig into where that money went, which, of course, it's gone to Mitch McConnell, which I'll talk about in a second. It's also gone to Lindsey Graham. It's gone to actors, Ben Stiller, and fucking whoever has visited him. And we know that they were paid millions of dollars. They didn't go on their own fruition. They didn't go on their own accord. They didn't go because they were really supporting this disgraceful exhibition of stupidity that this tiny little country, like an ant, was going to take on this giant bear. And people were thinking they're going to win. Fuck. It was it's from the very beginning was ludicrous. And then, of course, we started to see all the money being sent. And it's just another way to get money to the military-industrial complex, which hopefully Trump will stop. I'd like to see it here, like he would like to see it here, like his team. But like this guy, Jim Justice, and a few others out there, right? Like a few others out there, they're not who you think they are. They're not who you think they are. They're not who the display they are. You know, I was watching this. Right here, Marco Rubio. And they thought he won that exchange with this Dateline or CNN host, Face the Nation, right there in my face. And I want you to let me know if you think this is a big win for him. Because from what I could tell, he missed a lot of key points. He's not the guy. I'm not sure why. Maybe he had to pick him. Maybe Trump had to make a deal and pick him. Because just let you know, Trump is full of deals. He's the deal maker. Read the book, you know, The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. That's what he's about. He likes making deals. It's not about the money for the guy. It's about him winning the deal. If it's 51 to 49%, he gets the deal. It's a win for him. So I think he had to put this kid in to get past the inauguration. That's just me guessing. I think he had to put a few people in, and I think they wanted Matt Gaetz out. They said you got to pull Matt Gaetz out. You can put in Pam Bondi. You know, I'm really concerned about the direction of this, and we should always be. Look, I am, or have always been, the person that will question authority and its sources at every turn. I will also respect authority. If I'm ever pulled over, it's yes or no, sir. What can I do, sir? What is the issue, officer? What can I, let him do his job and then move on your way. But the thing is, because I respect the police, I respect the firemen, I respect the EMTs, emergency units, the guys on the streets fixing the potholes. I totally respect those people. People building the bridges, the construction, just everyone, pretty much in a sense, But in this particular case with these people, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful. Let's see how this goes. I'm just gonna tell you now that mainstream media, okay, just so you know, and I have to keep bringing this up because a lot of people don't understand, is that these bazillion-dollar studios, just these giant warehouses of this theatrical theater, this theater that you're seeing, these giant studios and all the equipment and AI and it just costs a lot of money, and you don't pay for it. You pay for it by being tricked, played, fooled, propagandized to believe what they're fucking telling you, because they're not there to tell you anything. Look, I've got them all. Fox, I've got PBS, CNN, MSNBC, I think Al Jazeera's in there, a few others, because this is how it works. And I'm going to tell you again, this is how it freaking works. Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 is an act that overturns 64 years ban on the domestic dissemination of propaganda produced for foreign audiences. Okay, it was added to the 2013 National Defense Authorization Act bill and passed under President Obama. New outlets at that time have passage predicted that it would allow the U.S. or these fuckers here to U.S. propaganda intended to influence foreign audiences, but it was for us. It was for everybody to be used on the domestic population as well. That's what it was about. That's what it was used for. Yeah, let's let this guy run, but I'm just saying I don't think he did a really great job with this, to be honest with you. Let's just hear. Now they're talking about free speech. Now they condone free speech. Now they want free speech. When the shoe was on the other foot, it was all about censorship. It was all about misinformation. Now it's about now they're clamoring for free speech. Fucking crazy. Far right. See, you have to get that talking point in there. Okay, what is far right? Is it so far right you're kind of left? Is it so far right that you're a global predator class pedophile? I mean, or Democrat that does the same thing. I mean, there's all kinds of sicknesses out there. How far left and how far right can you go? So when I hear this far left and far right stuff, it's just, people have their beliefs and stuff. But once you go too far, and this is what I'm actually trying to convey here, there are boundaries. There's a gray area. There's a gray area. But once you go past that, it's criminal. It's treasonous. And that's where a lot of these Democrats went in the past 4 years. Oh, the Republicans were extreme. Is that what you're saying? They were extreme. Is that what you're saying? So in 2020, was how much damage done to cities across the United States because of BLM? How much? Hundreds of millions. I think in the billions, actually. Right? And there were people assaulted and cops and people died and killed, all kinds of crap. And it wasn't just one day, it was for like 8 months. It was crazy. I said the tone that was specific. There's a part you missed about which he said tyrannical and all this stuff, but let's hear what he says. They had Adolf Hitler, if you've done the research on it, the Aryan nation, the eugenicists, people like Bill Gates, okay, George Soros, there's many others, believe there's one race of people that should be out there and you have to be of that lineage or you're gone. And this is real. Okay? You know who was a eugenicist? What was it? Anne Thatcher? No. Gosh darn it. Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger, who was the big poster lady for Planned Parenthood, had 3 children. Most people don't know that. No problem. Go have your children. No problem. But she is a eugenicist, an Aryan nation type person, similar, almost exactly in the system and the process and the cult that Adolf Hitler had. It wasn't about what color, what these things, which they definitely were about color. Let's get that off the table, on the table. And they did not like the Jews. We know that. But even if you were the same, blue eyes, white skin, Caucasian, whatever the case may be, you had to go by their process, their ideology, their theism, the way they behaved. If you didn't, you would be exterminated. This is how they were. It had nothing to do with speech because they totally disseminated speech. If you read the book 1984, which I have, and you Incog and Shelley and all these people in there, and what's the guy's name? Steve. Anyway, it'll come to me. But that book itself clearly indicates what their mission was. was total and absolute control of the masses. That their way and their people is the best way possible. We can never have that. We can never have that. And that's what I'm hoping. And I know Trump doesn't think like that. I fucking know I know. I've done enough research on this guy. He's not who they've claimed to be. And she's going to try to do that. That's her goal. And let's just hear what he says, and if this is a burn or if she gets him back or whatever. But she's made her talking points. She's already thrown out what she needed to say as it's scripted. You need to say Nazi. You need to say Hitler. You need to say this. You need to say far right. You need to say this. And they have to get those talking points out. It's called impressions, and a lot of people fucking are hypnotized by it. That's an indoctrination process, and that's what Hitler was about. He indoctrinated his people. You had to be a certain way. You had to do a certain thing. Had to live a certain lifestyle, and that's the way it was with Hitler. But this Trump is not that. Yeah, that's there's so much more to that. And that's not really a big burn, honestly, because I would have started, look, you got your talking points out, but you're off. You're way off. Okay, and then I would have brought up a few things that I've already brought up. But the thing that people need to understand is there is a group of people out there, a very insidious, heinous, terrible, evil, like I said, is a matter of opinion, perspective. You know, Islamics think that Christians are evil, and Christians think Islamics are evil. Not all of them, but some. Some people think that that guy's evil and this guy is wonderful, and some people think that that guy is evil and this guy is wonderful. I mean, it's all about perspective. But you need to base people on their actions, on their character, how they've done things, what they've done. Right? We know for a fact that Trump wasn't a Russia Gate person like Adam Schiff and the rest of the crew wanted him to be. We know Trump wasn't the person that started wars. He actually ended wars. We know that Trump, by just saying a few words and not even elected yet, helped slow down or stop Ukraine. Isn't that crazy? He's like I said, he hasn't even been president for a month, and there's so many things that are being revealed, exposed, criminal, treasonous things. The Biden administration was and it'll be proven, was an illegitimate presidency. There's no possible way that man, who was basically an invalid, had maybe 20% of the rallies that Trump gave, and maybe 10% of what the audiences that Trump had. It was just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had these giant, everybody was backing him up. Right? It was just like Tulsi Gabbard when she first came out and took down Kamala Harris back in 2016. Just annihilated her. Was it 2018? Whatever. But the thing is they forced her out. And guess what? They fucking fucked with the wrong chick, in my opinion. Right? I'm glad that Tulsi Gabbard, who is India and I think partially Polynesian, a strong woman that's been in the military and done her thing and been all over the world and been around the political realm for a while, understands foreign policy, and she's followed it very well, and she's spoken on it many times, more so than most people. Plus she's smoking and all that other good stuff. But the basic thing is we need to be concerned about the cabinets. And Marco Rubio is all about Ukraine, which is a little off. He's kind of changed his tone a little bit, which is good. By the way, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about Deepwater Horizon and drilling and a few other things. But I've got to just get to kind of why I'm going with this, starting with Jim Justice of West Virginia. Because there is a curious thing happening, and it's kind of happened many times for many decades. But in this case, it's pretty prominent. Whoa, that's freaky looking. And the thing that I'm talking about is definitely this guy. Where is he at? He was right here. Hang on. The curious case of Mitch McConnell. Okay? It's just odd. Not odd. It's more revealing, actually. And this is why I think Jim Justice and there's a few of them out there. You guys need to be careful because I think Marco Rubio is a good puppy. He's a good dog to have. That's what I think. I think he'll listen and do what he's told. I don't think he's a part of any great group of globalist people. He just doesn't have that. He's not great at giving speeches either. He's just, he's always drinking water. Let's just say that. We've seen that in the past. We had the super dry mouth and other shit like that. But what I'm saying is I'm concerned about a few people in Trump's cabinet. I am. You have to be. You can't just think that Trump perfectly picked the perfect people. You can't. You have to assume, as being part of the American Republic, that some of these people may not go in the direction that you want them to, or follow exactly to the line or to the exact order of what their commander-in-chief wants them to. So I am concerned. And of course, we all know that Trump's first term, which was kind of his freshman year, he didn't really know what the fuck was going on or who to trust. And he brought in a bunch of bungheads and a bunch of other fucking people. What was that guy, Tim Reitner or something like that? That was from Goldman Sachs, one of Obama's buddies. And it was just. But later on, he started to get it. I could see that he was starting to get it. And then they screwed him. They said, dude, you got to step out of that office or we're going to bring hellfire across everybody. Not just you. And I think that's what happened. Right? And then they totally set up and started firing tear gas behind the J6 people, pushing them further into the Capitol. Yeah, there's videotape. I've got it. If you ever want it, I'll show it to you. They were on the roof. You could see them shooting their mortars. And they were shooting the tear gas behind them to force them in towards the Capitol. Just ask Ray Epps. He'll explain the whole fucking thing to you. But right here, we have Mitch McConnell. And the curious case of Mitch McConnell is that I don't think... He looks fucking dead. He does not look alive. He froze here. He froze here. Yeah, here's what we need to do, okay? And I hope everybody understands this because this is the most important part of what I'm about to say. And what I'm about to say is this. I'm going to tell you. Who are his handlers? No. Not just the people that help him in and out of the car, the Secret Service and stuff like that. What I'm saying is, who are the people that are out there that are really in charge? Who's making this man make this decision not to confirm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., not to confirm Tulsi Gabbard, not to confirm fucking Kash Patel, and a few others? Who is really in charge? I think people want to know that. Don't you want to know who's really in charge? Yeah, because it's definitely not Mitch McConnell. It hasn't been Lindsey Graham and a few other fucking Rhipiglians out there. right? All the Demoncrats are definitely under the fucking strings and puppet poles and puppeteering of, I would say the global pedophile predator class, which I've been pointing out. I mean, Jim Rickards kind of told us there's about 200 or 300 of them. Just look up Jim Rickards, right? And Sewell. There's a few other people, G. Edward Griffin, Dr. David Martin. Even Whitney Webb has talked about this, right? And Christian, who has been on this show, on my old channel, because I'm on my fifth because of the tyrannical 1984 Orwellian community guidelines that have happened to me 5 fucking times, right? But the thing is who are these people making all these decisions? Why is Google still able to only put Google stuff that sponsors all the fucking Democrats still? Why is that? Go type in something in Google. Say you want to know what's the best thing Trump is going to do for us, or anything positive about Trump, and you'll see just negative crap. Left and fucking right. It's crazy. Right? How come Google's still operating? Is anybody asking that? Is anybody asking why Google is still in operation? I don't see Elon Musk walking into Google. I would like to see that. I would like to see Musk. I would like to see Pam Bondi. I would like to see Tulsi Gabbard. I would like to see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and especially Kash Patel go into fucking Google and find out what's going on. Or is the CIA just too big to touch? I think that's the biggest question, people. The people that are actually pulling the actual strings. It's not Obama. Everyone goes with Obama. I was talking to some guy the other day. Oh, it's Obama. I go, it's not Obama. Obama isn't the fucking mastermind. These masterminds go back decades, maybe even hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, from the information I've gathered over the past few years, for sure. Just because if you think that Elon Musk is the richest man, he probably is pretty rich in the United States, but not the most powerful. Not with the most deep, backroom, dark ties that are still out there. People really don't understand that there is a very sinister, heinous, insidious, disgusting world that is behind a lot of people. A lot of top-ranking government officials, not just in our own government, but across the planet. When I think it was in 2022 or 2021, I think, when Klaus Schwab, who's also kind of a puppet, but he's in there, he's part of one of them, was saying, we're so proud that we penetrated the cabinets of over 2,000 world leaders. You're going, what is your NGO or your globalist foundation penetrating anything? It just sounds like a weird, just an obscure word, but that's what he said. And everybody's like, what did that really mean? What that really means is Mitch McConnell. Jim Justice is more of just a fucking whore for the pharmaceutical industry. But I'm sure he knows he has some ties. He needs to go. I don't know how in the fuck he became a senator. When I found out, I was just like, eh? But Mitch McConnell, it's not because he's aging. It's not because anything. It's basic. Well, that's not helpful. But there's just so many that are being manipulated still. And Trump, and I'm going to say it again, needs to go find the strings. And he needs to go to where that string is, who's turning it or manipulating it, and get rid of that fucker or fuckers. Right? He needs to follow the money. And if Elon Musk is proving that he's following the money to a single entity, person, or corporation, or group, or whatever, then he can do the same thing and find who the fuck is controlling Mitch McConnell. Because it's not his little helpers that help him in and out of his wheelchair, or when he falls down, or when he fucking, and all this other crazy shit. It's not just him. It's all of them. There's something out there that people aren't talking about. who are actually pulling the fucking strings. I think that's what we need to do. And if like I said, if Elon Musk can do what he says he's doing, which he is doing, and it's being exposed, trillions of dollars, waste, fraud, criminal activity, blah 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 blah, and then we're starting to connect those dots to people. The actual puppeteers that are going like this with the strings, right? We need to find out who those people are. We need them to be brought to a global council or brought to a global hearing or judge and look at what they've done and how they've influenced or coerced or bullied or whatever they've done. We need to stop that shit. Because if you let it continue, it's going to get worse. So we need to nip it in the bud. And I do believe, the place that took this channel down 5 times and millions of others channels, basically they need to fucking make sure that they get that handled too. They need to get that fucking handled too. Because I'm fucking telling you, it has to be done. And there's some people out there that want to know that. There are people out there that want to know why is Mitch McConnell still doing that? I mean, why would he want to fucking do that? Go against the grain so fucking hard. And look, I know and there's a lot of people out there and a lot of these in these groups of congressmen and women, representatives or senators. There's always one or two that go against the grain. Isn't that kind of weird? It's like, you know what? You be the shithead this month. No, you be the traitor this month. No, it just kind of seems that way. Massey, Senator Massey. What's his first name? Jim Massey, Mitch Massey. I don't know. Anyway, he's gotten really close to pinpointing these people. But there are a lot of people that are still investigating a lot of this. There's a lot of things that need to happen. But I do think it is extremely important that we stop allowing the fucking strings to be pulled. Right? We've got to find out how this is happening. Because we all know that it's out there. I mean, if you've been watching this show, if you've been watching Jimmy Dore, if you've been watching so many others, Nico House, and a bunch of others, even people that have gone totally left on the left side, even fucking fuck you, Kyle Kalinske, and a bunch of other fucking people out there, Kim Iverson, who kind of still has TDS, but I get it. There's a lot of other people that don't trust what's going on because we want to know. And I know it's only 27 days into his presidency, but let's just hope that he starts to expose the actual puppeteers. We know it's not Obama. We know it's not Obama. We know it's somewhere in this group of people that hang out, right, at the World Economic Forum. We know that because I have lots of information to prove that that's probably the case. That's the conclusion you have to come up with. There's just people in these NGOs or these societies or these cults or whatever the fuck they are that have this kind of pull, this kind of power, this kind of coercion or just leverage on other people. And I want to know who those fucking people are. If Pam Bondi, if Tulsi Gabbard, if Hegseth and Kash Patel and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and maybe Marco Rubio or whoever can fucking find out how this shit is actually happening. I want to know. I want to know who's fucking pulling the strings. There's another thing that happened, and I don't know if you guys remember, and it just came to me. But there was also, where was it? Becky News and Paul. If I can't find it in 2 seconds, I'm not going to keep looking for it. All right. But it was actually Dianne Feinstein who was going in some weird direction in regards to her, where is it? Let's recall. Yeah, it is. Here it is right here. That's not it. Yeah, I do. Oh, shit. That's the defense budget. This is something totally different. Who's that guy? Just say I. So I think she's not here, right? Anymore. I actually met her and Bill Clinton in the 90s when I was on the dock of the aircraft carrier in Bremerton, Washington. And I was like gung ho for whatever they were telling us to fucking do. I didn't. I was young, didn't give a. I was just fuck whatever, man. Okay, right. But I met her. I shook her hand. I also shook Bill Clinton's hand, which I fucking have wanted to wash off for at least 30 years now. Fucking Jesus. And who knows? But probably Diane's too. But these people are just manipulated. It's not these little staffers or somebody also moving these people to do something. And I think it's important that, and I'm going to say it again with as much fervor as fucking possible. I want to know who's pulling the strings, Mr. Trump. I want to know who's pulling the strings, Elon. I want to know who's pulling the strings, Tulsi. I want to know who's pulling the strings, Robert. Right? Cash, we must know. And those strings must be severed. And the people that were pulling them, they need to be listed. They need to be brought to justice. They need to be held accountable for the perhaps millions and millions of people that they've allowed or in some way, shape, or form murdered. Yeah, the genocide has got to stop too. And Jim Justice is just a fucking piece of shit. But anyway, hey Cheryl, how you doing? I'm gonna come on tomorrow. Why don't you guys come out tomorrow? And I wanted to talk about the drilling. I want the drilling to happen, but I want it to be safe. I don't trust the Demoncrats. I think somebody out there is gonna fucking do something to one of these oil rigs. I just have a feeling. What better way to prove that drilling is not safe than somebody sabotaging it, right? So I'm really concerned about that. And a few other things. But anyway, I think that's important. I think everybody wants to know that. We want the string pulling to stop. This is James with Monotalk. Thank you for listening.